I'm sorry about that. I was channeling my inner beast.
Then why is that? What's that on the floor, right below your mouth?
Don't judge me, you little skank.
It's just hair. Just
Oh,
hair.
I'm sorry, what was that? I was posting it on my Twitter account.
What is Twitter?
And it's just her writing a note and handing it to a little bird that flies away.
Wow, Twitter was certainly a more interesting mechanic back in the 1800s, or excuse me, the 1900s.
That's the one joke.
You know what? That just reminds me.
Go ahead.
That just reminds me of a joke from the first Lego movie where I'm trying to remember what's the name of the character. The old guy, Vitruvius, that's it. Where he sends these messenger birds, and it's like, these messenger birds will go to an internet cafe and remail the remaining master builders.
I saw that, and I was, oh no, the Origami Ant Village.
Oh no, it's been shredded.
Oh, really?
That's cold.
They've been torn apart.
You know what I would love, James? If you say shredded, you right after that you have the cue from the 80s Turtles theme where Shredder plays the
No one knows how she says
But if you can find me that audio clip, I can play it there. But yeah, so these guys were
We still need to watch Secret of the Ooze, though.
killed off by a new enemy type we'll be seeing here later. That
I honestly forgot, since it has been a little while since our American McGee's Alice commentary. Were the ants ever a thing in that?
No, I mean, there was normal insects. I remember we fought a centipede guy and we fought soldier ants, but yeah, this is completely new to me. And here are their enemies. Samurai wasps.
Oh, of course it has to be wasps.
Had to find another way to really hate wasps.
Definitely.
But I love their design. They really are, they don't look like this. Like, they really are just normal wasps, just wearing these demon masks on.
That is pretty cool.
I know there's a certain name for it, but it's on the tip of my tongue.
They look like Oni masks.
Yes, that's what they are.
But yeah, it's cool, and they will definitely be one of the more challenging people we fought, which I like. I like to challenge my sword.
Shut up, James.
What are you thinking about?
You made a bee pun.
Oh.
So,
Let's level up my...
I know, it's like the most obvious thing you could ever do. It's just the same time. It's like, you immediately notice it's like,
nice.
God damn it, now I can't hear it.
Well, that's definitely stung.
Damn.
I had to
But
pun
yeah,
because
so-
you stole all my paper puns. Those were pretty paper thin, if you ask me.
I also, but yeah, I love how when you upgrade the weapons, they do change appearances. So
To be fair, Pi, you wouldn't have made note of it unless I said it first.
Yeah, that's true. I like to steal other people's stuff when I do.
Get it? Make note of it?
Oh,
and again, my goal is
I
to max
follow
out
like a
all
page.
weapons.
Follow like a page.
Okay. More samurai ants.
Oy.
Or not samurai, these are just normal villager ants. Uh-oh.
oh no.
Ow,
actually,
jeez.
Ow.
Stop it! Back to you,
Jeez, you're picking on a little girl.
They're wasps. They don't care. They
was about to
sting
say-
anybody.
I was about to say, to give you credit, that page pun you made is actually a bit more layered than you expected, considering it's your name.
Oh god.
But yeah, you just have to. I definitely use the hot wars to break their defenses and then slash at them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, what's the whole story behind these samurai wasps and the freaking? How am I forgetting the name of it already?
origami ants.
The origami.
The
ants, thank
origami
you.
ants.
So, remember how I said like there probably were bosses designed for this game at some point, but they just kind of skipped over them at some point. So I guess if you look, and it's cool, it's actually included in the concept art you can unlock for this game. They had a full model and everything designed for a like samurai queen wasp. That was like it was actually a warrior in her own right, and you would fight her. I can only imagine that she just wanted to like lay conquest to the whole mountain, I guess. Because we gotta climb this whole mountain. It's a bit of a trek.
It's
to
a
get up this
journey
thing.
to the west, if you ask me.
Also, to finish that thought I had earlier, when I was talking about the one joke the one joke with the freaking tweeting thing, the one joke I hated in Moana was that.
Oh yeah,
where-
it's like
where he's
using a bird to
autographing
write
his
out the
book.
autograph.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never caught that.
Yeah, it's a very like it's like within milliseconds it's done. It's just a quick aside, but it's just if you use a bird to write, it's called tweeting, and you're just like,
now I got it. No wonder I
like,
forgot about it because it was so painful.
Shut out your memory. That was like, that didn't need to happen.
It was the one time. It's pretty, to its credit, it's the only time they do something like that.
Right, I'm just saying, like, that's the one joke. I'm like, it was well written and like not trying to be forcibly topical.
It's just one of those minor but noticeable acid reflux moments.
Acid reflux.
I should have said acid reflex, but yeah.
No, you know what? To some people, reflex might be an appropriate response.
Uh-oh. I have much more samurai bosses. I got this. These guys are no problem.
Actually, going back to Moana, going to the fun lines delivery that was pretty fun. It's like, well, you two must be really good friends. Well, we would be if I hadn't ripped his leg off. Wait, what?
Come on, send me something more challenging. Why don't you, Paul?
Well, asking each other.
The
daimyo.
Is it pronounced daimyo or daimyo?
I think it's daimyo.
It's a super big warrior. So the strategy with him is when he flies up in the air, teapot cannon him. Teapot cannon him so he falls down to the ground. Because otherwise, he's very stuck.
Oh wow, he's literally pulling the whole shinobi tactic of launch your staff in the first, get your spear to the ground, and cause a fucking freaking shockwave.
Yeah.
Yep, and you can't get very close to him. You have to stun him.
Actually, one more Moana thing, and that was also leading back to the Infinity War thing that we were talking about. I had this comic, I never got around to drawing it, but basically like a Thanos getting Infinity Stones, and he looks at it and goes,
Oh, I see. So they took the regular stone and colored for the bioluminescent as a diversion.
I still love how blatantly he spells it out.
As a diversion.
Just looking up.
I bet you'd help me if I had to make an accent and my name was Sebastian.
I know you.
That was a really fun character, honestly.
He was fun. I think it was his name Tamatoa.
Tamatoa.
Tamatoa. Okay, I just remember him. I just remember his name as shown in the freaking. I forget what it was called. I think it was like the realistic commercial, the real whatever. It was They described him as they called him David Glowy.
David Glowy.
I get
Well, it
it.
is supposed to be David Bowie as a crab.
His song style is very David Bowie-esque.
Something tells me I need to get around to watching this movie myself.
It's on Netflix.
Moana? It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good
I think
movie.
it's good.
I think it's
I
still
think it's
on
very
Netflix.
good. Yeah,
I think so.
I would say it's much better than Frozen.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
definitely better than Frozen.
To be fair, that's not a hard achievement to get.
Although Tangled, I think is still better than Moana.
I love Tangled.
Tangled's okay.
Oh,
They're alive.
Chosen one,
Oh.
our savior, our benefactor.
So I guess some of these ants are still hiding out.
Guess
You know,
right.
not for its words. I kind of would have liked it more if they actually spoke their native language.
Don't.
I mean, we still get the subtitles.
Don't.
but still.
Don't.
That would have been neat if like it was something where, like they spoke. Yeah, like they spoke in their language and we got. Yeah, I can see that.
It stays in the
Well, I mean, in all fairness, that would make sense.
That would have been, you know, that actually would have been a clever way to get around, like, to describe a language barrier.
The powerful, the brave, the reckless, the rash, the crazy, the imprudent.
Oh, that's just what's his
Is
face
there
again.
anything more you would like to describe me as?
That's but that was just freaking Roger Jackson again. Don't mind him. Roger Jackson voices everybody. The game.
I feel like that does exist, but I don't think it's either the American McGee's.
ooh.
That poor geisha there doesn't look very happy.
Actually, you know what? Something
That's a
topical.
geisha.
You want to talk
Oh,
about
that
a
is a
game?
geisha.
It is a
I was about to
geisha.
say.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you want to talk about a game where it's just literally a one-man crew. You might have heard of it, James, but that one Looney Tunes mobile game that's been hitting the grounds lately, World of Mayhem. Pretty much every character, with the exception of Porky, is voiced by Eric Bauza, and that even includes Granny.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
who voiced Granny back in Space Jam?
Suggest
that was
willingness to confront the challenges ahead.
She was pretty much
Mental
the de facto
strength
voice
will
of Granny up
confirm
until
your
her death.
worthiness.
Yep, nowadays
Or
it's
declare
Candy
your
Milo,
defeat.
who is also Grandma Foster.
Candy Milo actually passed away a while ago.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, like a few years ago.
Dang.
How come I haven't heard about that?
Granny can't catch a break.
Damn.
Who played okay, weird question out of nowhere. Who played SpongeBob's grandma?
I don't
Oh,
know.
what's her name? Rose something?
I'm gonna look it
I know
up.
she voiced. I know
Yeah,
she
do
voiced
look
her
it
future
up.
episodes.
And she also voiced her in Employee of the Month, where she, for some reason, kept assuming SpongeBob was Patrick.
Well, to be fair,
Oh,
by
yeah,
that
that's
point, you just
right.
argue she was starting to suffer from
She's
from
got the
Alzheimer's.
olds.
Exactly.
Plus, I thought it was like a reference to like the first episode where she appeared, where she spent more time with Patrick and just thought SpongeBob was Patrick.
Actually,
Well,
you know
Yeah,
what?
maybe.
It's Marion Ross.
Marion
Oh, okay.
Ross. Okay.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like, you guys hate. I'm trying to remember the name of the episode I'm talking about. The episode with the commercial and SpongeBob like thinks he's.
Oh,
hot stuff
as seen on
president.
TV.
Yeah, seen on
Yeah,
TV.
I just
like,
felt like it was a
you
bit
guys.
pre-
I was about to say, you guys have that. I really don't like Grandma's Kisses.
Really, I love Grandma's Kisses.
I like all but the okay, I should say this. I like the message of it up until the ending. The
Yeah.
direct last clip
no,
show.
I think how it ends off is actually pretty eclectic. Well, I mean, okay, say what you. I mean, it pretty much did teach the important lesson that it is important to get into what's the word? It is very important to keep in touch with your folks, and
Right.
don't let it get to you over the fact that other people
that was
will still treat you like that. But it just also goes to prove that people still do that at the end of the day. It's up to you to not let that get to you.
Also,
I guess that is true, but
another
I
thing
don't know.
that-
Go
I was
ahead.
about to say, another thing I'll say, this is kind of a minor thing, but I think it would have been funny, is if, because, after SpongeBob reconciles with Grandma and you just never see Patrick again, I would have liked if they kind of replicated what happened with the episode with Gary, where Patrick just sees that and he just goes, I thought what we had was special.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. Everything up. I guess it was just everything up until that part because I would have liked it if Squidward and the others had some sort of comeuppance or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think in the case of Squidward and them, I think it's more forgivable for them to still be like jerk-offs as opposed to Patrick, because in the I Was Stupid episode, because in those cases
Oh my God.
they've always been assholes, and at the end of the day, nothing's really gonna change that.
I had
And-
I think that was the one episode that I actually hated. I'm with stupid.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm Was
Weird
Stupid
with
is
Patrick.
I'm Was Stupid I think is bad just because Patrick never got his proper comeuppance.
For me,
No.
it was the card with the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy cards that Patrick had.
Oh yeah,
That
that,
one
was
was
kind of
just-
bad.
Hurt. It just hurt.
I see I even had in mind an alternate ending for the Grandma Kisses episode or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The
Where-
wicked wasps lay siege
So
upon
hearing
us
me out
and
here,
control
he would
the
start
beach
off
to
with
east and
SpongeBob
west.
returning to the Krusty
You must
Krab
defeat them
and
before
actually
each
showing up with
caterpillar's
his
retreat.
grandma to
I
serve
suppose
her
I must go to
a
the
Krabby Patty
mountain
himself.
top, as it won't
Uh-huh.
And then
We
everyone
have faith
starts
that
snickering
caterpillar,
starts
the
snickering and everything like
strange
that, but
and
then
wondrous,
SpongeBob's
helps
grandma's like,
us indeed.
oh, I also hope
One
you
day
don't
we'll
mind. I
have
decided to invite some
Purity
friends
of
from my
heart is to
polo
will
club or
one
whatever, and it's
thing,
then all of
to
their
approach his
grandmas
sacred area.
Oh,
that she
God.
happens
would've
that she
been
happens
hilarious.
that she hangs out with that she's friends with, because they usually bond over and have game nights or reading clubs
You
or
know
something.
what?
So I just imagine that being the big comeuppance
That'd be
is revealed that
funny,
everybody
but
else is just as
actually,
guilty as SpongeBob.
if we're
is
gonna
that.
talk about alternate endings, I have one for I'm With Stupid. It's a little bit more harsher, but I think it's, feeds into the comeuppance with Patrick, where it's after the point, right before SpongeBob snaps and leaves the house, it shows him snapping, but instead it just cuts to outside, Squidward with Patrick's parents. It's alright, I'll take it, and I'll just stop yelling in front of my door. And he opens up, and you just see, with no I was about to say, they open up the rock, and without any context, they just see the image of, SpongeBob strangling Patrick against the floor, and then they just slowly back away.
They just close the door. It's I think he's busy. But so
That would've
the
been
mini, the mini
hilarious.
Loving families.
So the mini game
It's not a little about as mean spirit, almost as mean spirited as what happened in the actual episode.
You say that, but one, at least it shows Patrick getting a comeuppance, and two, I've talked about it before, but I'm not gonna lie, there's something oddly cathartic about seeing SpongeBob get really pissed.
Oh yeah, there is that.
Yes, I think
If you
Kenny's
need
Paradigm
to
shows
listen,
that.
you crustacean cheapskate.
You're not gonna have my house, driving me crazy, and I'm not gonna hire him back because it was stupid time.
Of all the times you want. Yeah, no, he got this. Also,
Oh,
but the hitboxing of fireballs is pretty ruthless. But the big mini game of this chapter true to form with Japan, is the original classic 2D platformer.
Oh,
Aw, that's pretty cool.
it's a
Yeah, it's
Super
kind of weird,
Alice.
it's this cool like paper puppetry kind of like theater. Or whatever.
You know what? It's starting to. It
really
makes me
nice.
think back to Runner 3 with its whole side gimmick, where you got to play as Commander Video in a 2D side scroller that pretty much pays tribute to like the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Right. I remember that. That was so cool. It was like Cuphead.
The darker
Yeah,
version
exactly.
of Paper Mario.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Or Super Paper Mario in this case, though. Granted, considering how dark that game is, I don't know.
It's on
Would it really
par.
be that much darker? Yeah, you can say. We'll know that.
Careful. The bamboo is very sharp.
Yes, it is.
Oi,
And then
Bamboo
you
is
got
a lot
these
sharper
guys.
than you'd think.
the
Yeah,
Oni
the bamboo is
pillars.
a lot sharper than you'd think. That was still a really cool idea in Mario Odyssey, having Oni thwomps.
The Oni thwomps, and then having that whole 2D segment in one of those
And those paintings.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Oh
paper
yeah,
folding.
the huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole folding. That was such a cool 2D classic level.
It was great.
Does going off those refresh your triple jump? Because it looks like you had too many jumps throughout there.
Oh, the bounce pads? I believe so.
And technically, she can still shrink.
Yep, and yeah, it
thing.
should be. But yeah, it should be. I don't believe you can. It should be noted that bamboo is super sharp. I actually learned that bamboo is crazy sharp.
And sturdy.
There's actually. Oh god, I feel so. Okay, again, because it's it's Alice. It's gotta be somewhat dark. I learned that there was once a form of torture where they
Shoving bamboo
would.
under your nails.
Well, that sucks. But that's just how they say hello in that culture.
Yeah,
I'm referring to the Kanar.
For context, Gordian Pie, they're talking about the Kanar from Rayman 3.
The Kanar.
okay.
They don't
Ah.
I assume that's
re-
where. I assume that's the origin of that line.
if they really don't like it, then they make you write bad checks.
Or spit in your eye.
his eye.
I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Or tear off his flesh.
But then it's so funny humor that.
Bad tip.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's so funny where you have all this and just
Make him write bad checks. Park in a handicap zone.
Ooh.
I don't think that was part of it. Was that in the game?
no. We're making up
Okay,
stuff.
that's
It's
fine. You know, all things considered, it's I feel with Rayman 3. I mean, I know it's been a while since you last did that commentary, but it's I feel very half and half on how it handled its overall presentation. On one hand, there's quite a few memorable moments, but then there's other just don't feel like they belong.
I know. It would have been better as just a straight up platformer. As
Or
opposed to,
you just have
the
mixed
beat 'em.
emotions about in general, like John Leguizamo as Glowbox.
Only the
Oh,
he was
foolish
okay.
believe suffering.
I mean, I
It's
thought it was
funny,
fun.
but it's
overall,
just John
just that-
Leguizamo.
Right.
But yeah, so back to that method of torture thing I learned. Also, be careful of the glowing red.
Kanjis.
The glowing red kanji
Oh,
on this. They are fire.
Actually, you mentioned that, Logan. That actually reminds me. In the Revenge Shinobi, I know some of the obstacles you do have to avoid in that game are literally 2 columns of bamboo that literally try to close in on each other, kind of like a death trap.
Oh.
Ooh.
And I
But
think
yeah,
that's,
no,
and I think that's. I don't think it's considered instant kill, but it does hurt a lot.
So yeah, the method of torture went like this: you would be stripped, pretty much naked, and strung up, suspended by ropes, like by your arms or whatever. And it's so crazy to think of how strong the plant is. Also, yeah, welcome to the land of crap. What's the pottery? I think it's cloisonne or not pottery, whatever or porcelain. I guess it's just the land of porcelain, right? Exactly. But what was I saying?
Real quick, what letter is that's causing the
Fire. It's literally the
I
kanji
think-
for fire.
That's
Oh,
cool.
okay. So they're being
Somewhere
quite
around
literal with that.
Which that's cool and all, but I got a grenade gun.
I got a tater gun.
Jesus. We were
I
outnumbered.
have tea.
But yeah,
I prefer sake!
yeah, I think this is so cool.
Sake.
But
I
I think
have
this
an
is so
army. We
cool.
have a teacup.
But it's so cool. The porcelain touches.
Ow.
I think this whole place is so cool. I also have a machine gun.
That,
Yeah.
anyway, we're terribly sorry, Logan. Back to that whole
torture.
thing.
Torture thing. Well, also say I like the porcelain place. You have the porcelain trees.
Please talk more about torture.
Talk more about torture.
The technique that happened was that you would be strung up like this, and they would plant bamboo they would plant bamboo directly beneath you, And bamboo grows fairly quickly, and it's super sturdy. So literally what would happen is that the bamboo would grow, and I learned this now through learning about that method of torture in a random like historical like documentary video or something. Bamboo does not stop for anything when it's growing up straight.
Oh no.
Not even ceilings?
Not even flesh.
Damn.
And bone.
Anything.
And they would literally have it grow right through.
It'd almost be like literally being piled on by a bunch of bricks.
Yeah, also, you can't jump on this thing very reliably well.
Well,
You
it's
have
made of
to,
paper
you have to
with
run it on a
hair.
treadmill. You have to run it on. You have to run on it like a treadmill. Okay.
While you literally jump on it.
Shush! That was a mistake. A fluke.
That's all. And that, my friends, is all she wrote.
It's a fluke. It's all a fluke. But yeah, so join us again through more of this area. So the whole point of this area is a huge climb up to the top, and hopefully we'll reach the Caterpillar Sanctuary. Why we didn't like hang on to the top of the mountain while we shrunk, so we would like shrink up to the top of the mountain is beyond me. But yeah, I think I thought it was a very nice twist on the whole insect themed level of the first game, except now we're all here.
Yeah, and honestly, it does look a lot prettier than the insect theme of the first game. It just looked all dirty and dank and stuff. And let's not forget the fucking centipede.
Their glitch still freaked me out. God.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Join us in the next part as we'll be continuing more of our adventure in the Mysterious East. Again, this is one of the longer chapters. Again, this game has particularly long chapters, deceptively long at some points, but yeah, see you all in the next part.
Till next time.
Bye-bye!
Someone get my ink pen.